Hello and welcome to Hard Way Learning, where we look stupid so you don't have to. Today we are going to put lowering springs on the VB WRX. The reason you'd go lowering springs over coilovers is basically cost. Coilover is definitely going to be a better long-term solution, more adjustability, probably better ride quality, but lowering springs are a cheap alternative to getting your car looking a little less monster trucky. So first things first, take your wheels off. We'll jack the car up, take the wheels off. 19 millimeters. Next, I'm going to be marking my camber eccentric bolts so that I know where to put these back in to get them at least roughly close. That way our alignment won't be completely off when we put it back together, but I'll probably get in alignment once everything settles, get all the toe and camber dialed in. Here's a shot of the eccentric right here. Top one's an eccentric, so you don't want to ugga-dug that one off from the bolt head side. You want to ugga-dug that off from the nut side. I'm guessing those are 19 millimeters. We've got a 17 millimeter for the sway bar end link. Pull our ABS sensor off there, and we should be able to blast these out real quick. Hoping I can get lucky on the sway bar end link. And we're gonna have to hold that one and use a wrench with an Allen key in the center. 19s pop off real quick. Alright, and the center of the sway bar end link, fairly large. A 6 millimeter. Alright, now we got our end link free. Just move that out of the way for now. And then we will go to the top. It's like a couple 14 millimeters up here. I'm going to leave that partially in place. Pop out the rest of these mounting bolts. We forgot to take our brake line off. There's a 12 millimeter for the brake retainer. Alright, we are free. To get the shock assembly apart, put some spring retainers on, spring compressors here. And then you pull off this cover, this rubber cover, and pop this 14 millimeter nut. They have an Allen key, so if you have a through hole to pop that off with, that's always good. Is it a 14 or is it a 17? It's a 17, my bad. And we'll replace this spring with a lower one. Alright, so I had to use the spring compressor to get this on. Kind of sucked because I could really only grab here and here without interference here, so I still had to like kind of stand on it and start the nut. Then you get your 6 millimeter on here, deep socket, and crank that baby down. Up like this, or maybe down like this, and then up like this. Put our non-eccentric bolt into the bottom. Or maybe get top nut started. This is where having friends always helps. Put our bottom bolt in. Pinch yourself. Line up our alignment bolt again. Just gonna add a smidge of camber, just because it looked a little positive before. Washer goes on the eccentric bolt. We'll get our torque specs in the description. Alright, torque everything down. Don't forget your brake line, your ABS sensor, and your sway bar link. Alright, we come to the rear of the car where we can hear our fuel pump priming infinitely. Must be a Subaru thing. What do we need? We need a 17 millimeter, we need a 14 millimeter, and we got the arm propped up so we can just yeet all these off. I'm replacing this with an adjustable lower arm with poly bushing in the middle. Yeah, so we'll start with This guy, the old sway bar end link, which is a 14 millimeter. What do you say? What do you say? I can go through the effort of popping out all these Christmas trees, or you can just lift up here and, you know, sneak a socket under there. I just threw some padding underneath because she gonna drop right down. Right into the garbage. So same process in the rear. We'll just wacky tobacco those off. You know, quick old 14 here. You should use the spring compressor tool. Safer. Use a 6 millimeter hex to hold the center stud. Nothing our old floor jack can't help us out with a little bit. We'll go get those 14s up top started. Alright, and then for this guy, we're going to grease this that goes towards the center subframe. Grease this surface, and then when you're looking at from the rear of the car, your camber, centered, negative camber, positive camber. So we're going to start out centered, I think, and then we'll go get the car aligned. So a combination of hammering and jacking has gotten this pressed up into the rear subframe, but now I can't get it. Alright, of course my battery died, but I shoved the inner one in first, and then I believe I got the outer one in, then the shock, then the sway bar. That was the hardest one to get in. You gotta jimmy it in kind of, and then this guy's hard because you've got the trailing arm kind of in your way. So having these not connected yet kind of helps you get that shoved in. Setting it at kind of a neutral camber right now, slightly out. And we'll go get it aligned once the springs settle and everything. We'll insert the torque specs now. Cool.